Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Charley Sunday's Texas Outfit by Stephen Lodge, narrated by Tom Steckschulte.
Prologue. 1960. Cold rain had been falling for most of the afternoon. The sky was so heavily overcast it could have been midnight. Nearly every family living in the 1950s post-World War II housing tract had turned on their interior lights. There was only one dwelling not glowing with illumination like the others. A faint flickering of gray and white light slipped smoothly through the half-closed slats of hanging Venetian blinds, barely making it through to the glass of a sizable picture window facing the street. Plus, there were muffled sounds coming from inside the residence. The roar of 1,000 hoofbeats and exploding gunshots echoed over a thrilling background musical score. Lightning flashed, followed by a loud clap of thunder. In the living room, a 19-inch black-and-white Philco television set was showing an old 1940s Western, Howard Hawks's Red River. At that moment, John Wayne, playing Texas rancher Tom Dunson, was galloping on horseback, leading his outfit as they attempted to turn a runaway cattle stampede. "Hooray! Yeah! Whoopee!" yelled the Pritchard children, who were enjoying the movie. Noel, who was 8, Caleb, 2 years older at 10, and Josh, about to turn 14, were devouring popcorn by the gallon from a large red bowl on the floor in front of them. An older gray-haired man sat behind in a rocking chair. He cheered on the movie cowboys right along with the children. Suddenly, the TV picture was replaced by a gray screen with little jumping black-and-white specks all over. The sound turned into static. Immediately, there were boos from everyone in the room. "Who in tarnation did that?" said the old man. A pleasant-looking woman wearing a yellow print apron over a light blue house dress stepped through the door leading from the kitchen. "It does that sometimes, Grandpa," she said, "especially during a storm like we're having now. Besides, your great-grandchildren are going to ruin their eyesight if you keep letting them watch television in the dark like that." "No, they won't, Evie," said the old man. "My Grandpa Charley let me read by campfire light when I was growing up, and it never bothered my eyes one bit." He turned to the 10-year-old Caleb. He asked, "Why don't you turn off the television?" Caleb sauntered over to the TV. Instead of turning the TV off, he changed the channel. The picture came on again. A preview for the television series Bonanza flashed onto the screen. This advertisement, like the TV, was also in black and white. "Man," said Josh, "it's an ad for Bonanza this coming Sunday night." He shook his head. "I sure wish we had a colored TV. Since it began last year, all my friends say Bonanza looks really great in color." "Your grandpa says we'll buy a color set when they're more affordable," said his mother. "Color television is still pretty new, you know. They'll get cheaper as time passes. Besides, aren't you really watching the same story, whether it's in black and white or color?" She turned to the older boy, adding, "Isn't that true, Josh?" "I like the stories Grandpa Hank tells us," said Noel, climbing into her great-grandfather's lap. "When he tells us the story, I can imagine everything happening in my mind, in black and white and color." "Yeah, Grandpa Hank," said Josh, moving closer. "Why don't you tell us one of your Western stories?" The old man smiled. He leaned forward in the rocker, kissing his great-granddaughter on the nose. "All right, then," he said. "Why don't the rest of you gather round and make yourselves comfortable?" He turned to his granddaughter. "Evie, do you still have that old box of newspaper clippings your mother kept for me over all these years?" "I know they're around here someplace, Grandpa Hank," she answered. "Good," said Hank. "Then these kids will have some sort of reference when I'm telling my story." "I think I remember where they are," said Evie. "I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail." Hank shook his head. "I remember when Uncle Roscoe used to say that." Caleb turned the TV off completely. He and Josh moved over and seated themselves on the carpet in front of the old man's rocking.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.